guys, welcome back to our channel. I have got some very exciting news for you guys today. We basically have finally hit the last point of my hospital appointments. This smile is real right now, guys. I am so excited. I cannot believe I have done this. This is amazing. I have worked a year for this spot right now, for this operation. So let's get right down to the beginning. So basically I have tried once before to get this operation. And of course you have to go to your doctor first to get it. I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet, but I will do in this video, don't worry. So yeah, basically I went to my doctor's the first ever time, which was a couple of years ago now. I think I was in my early 20s when I wanted this done the first time round. So I went to my doctor's. They forwarded me to a special place that I had to go to. It wasn't a hospital, but it was just a different type of place. Yeah, anyway, I had to go there and I had to do, I think it was a year with those people of training and all of this lot. It will be explained a little bit more better once I tell you exactly what I'm having done, but I don't want to give anything away just yet, so this bit isn't really important. I'm just telling you the bits that I had to go through. So I went to see them. Then basically I had to go back. Once I finished all that course with those for a year, I had to go back to my doctor, and then it was up to my doctor, apparently, whether if I go to the hospital and follow up their treatments. So I went back to my doctor. I saw Dr. Horsfall. And yeah, basically she was not very nice with me. She didn't want me to go for the operation, basically. She didn't want me to do this and that. So, which basically the doctor did not have any right to tell me that, because it's nothing to do with her. It's just for her to forward it through to the hospital, apparently. That's what I've been told off everybody that I've seen about this doctor that did that. Made the wrong choice for me, because basically it was nothing to do with her. All her job was just to, I think it was to sign a letter and just forward it on to the hospital. That's the only part that she had to do, but she basically told me that she wasn't going to do it. I can go a little bit, if you want a full-on proper story time on that, please do comment it down below, and I'll be sure to give you a full-on story time of that, because if it weren't for that doctor, I'd be a different person sat here right now. So anyway, enough of that. So let's just look on to the now side. So as soon as I left my ex, I decided that things had to change in my life. And that's when I went to the doctors and I asked them to give me a blood test. So they gave me a blood test. They took blood samples. I think they took 3 lots of blood samples. And when I got the results for that, we found out that I was diabetic type 2. Now that is not injecting. That is actually, it's not the injecting the insulin. I had to just take tablets. I am still type 2 diabetes, but it has got better since losing weight. So, since I found out that I was type 2 diabetes, I decided that things have to change really, really dramatically, because I did not want to become type 1 diabetic, which is injecting insulin. So I decided to put myself on a diet. Not really a diet, more healthy eating, so I decided to do that. So what I did, I completely wiped all sugar out of my life. So basically I stopped putting sugar in my brews. Normally if I had a cup of tea, I would have 3 sugars. If I had a cup of coffee, it would be 2 sugars. Now when I think about that, 3 sugars in a cup of tea, it physically knocks me sick in the pit of my stomach. I have tested myself as well. I've actually tried making a cup of tea and put the sugar in that I used to have, and I took a sip and I've actually gagged. It's been that horrible. It's been way, way too sweet. So I can't have sugar at all anymore in my brews, which is great. I also have wiped out pop. From the minute I found out that I was diabetic type 2, I wiped out pop completely out of my life. I haven't had I've not had pop, fizzy pop. I've not had sweet, you know, like, I can't say sweets because I have had the odd sweet. But I haven't had sugar in my brews. I haven't had, what did I just say then? Pop. So I've not had sugar in my brews, pop. I've not had cigarettes, I've not had alcohol. And I don't do drugs anyway. But I haven't had all of them 4 things for 2 years. So I'm so proud of myself for that. I'm especially proud of myself for the cigarettes. That had nothing to do with being diabetic. That was just a decision that I wanted to stop anyway. I wanted to stop for quite a few years actually with the smoking, but I just couldn't be bothered to do it. But I've finally done it and I am 2 years clean on that. As I say, I'm totally clean of drugs, don't do drugs. I haven't touched weed from the age of 18. I don't recommend it. It is not good. It is not clever at all. So anyway, I don't do that. Even at Christmas, I didn't have any alcohol at Christmas. I didn't even go out anywhere on New Year's. I haven't been out on New Year's for I don't know how many years. New Year's doesn't really bother me when it comes to going out. I don't really like celebrating New Year. Anyway, that's not the point. So, yeah, basically I'm doing really, really good with that. So there's that. And then I sat down with my dad and we both had a conversation and we decided that we would go back to the doctor and ask them for an operation. So basically, let's get into what this operation is. So when I first went to the doctors, I didn't quite know exactly what I wanted. Now, as I said at the beginning of this video, we did go to the doctors and I wanted weight loss surgery. There we go. So I did want weight loss surgery then, but I wasn't sure what was to offer because my doctor was being an arsehole, to put it in a nice way. So I didn't get a chance to figure out what was on offer for me to have, basically. So anyway, I went to the doctors with my dad and we sat down with them and I saw my new doctor and he is absolutely wonderful, God bless him. He has actually left the surgery now, which is such a shame because I really would have liked to have thanked him for helping me to fix my life, basically, and my health. So, yeah. So then we sat down with him and he took my height, he took my weight. I think he sent me for another blood test. And then he forwarded me to Chapel and I can't even say it, Chapel Henley Fifth, to a special, it's not like a hospital, it's like a walk-in thing. I can't really explain what it is. But anyway, I had to go to this centre thing. And that's where I met my dietitian, Barbara. And again, she's absolutely wonderful, Barbara. I cannot wait for the future so I can nip back in there and say hi with the new me. I'm so excited about that. But yes, that's where I met Barbara. And she weighed me. And from there, we basically had very good chats. We could talk about anything to her, really. You know, what my eating was like. So, like, basically how much was I eating in a day. Do I drink? Do I do drugs? All the usual stuff. And once she filled out all of my paperwork, that took quite a while to fill out all the paperwork. She said so for the first, I think it was the first 12 weeks, something along them lines, I would be under her guidelines of losing weight, preparing me for the transfer to the hospital. I explained what happened at the beginning with the Dr. Horsfall situation, and even she agreed that it had nothing to do with her. She said everything's changed now anyway. Nothing of that sort will be going to my doctor. It'll all be going straight through the post to the hospital. So, there's that. So that made me a lot more happier. It made me a lot more confident. I had to let her know about my anxiety and depression. I had to give her all of my information like that. She even got in contact with my doctor to confirm all of that. So she got all the confirmation that she needed. she was a little bit concerned about my depression. If I got really, really low, would I start comfort eating again and all of that sort of thing. But we got over that, them little problems that came in life. We got over those and we managed to climb over them walls and we did it. So, yeah, she was really, really good. She used to give me planners. I've actually got all my paperwork downstairs and I wish I'd brought it up now, but I actually forgot. So, yeah. Anyway, we did like food diaries. So she gave me like a food diary. I'd go home, everything that I ate or drink, even if it was 1 sugar in my brew, which I did not do because, as I've just said, I've not had sugar in a brew for 2 years. But whatever it was, even if I was just sucking on a Tic Tac, everything had to be wrote down. So I did that for the first, I think it was about the first 4 weeks. I wrote everything down. I took it to her. She was completely happy. My dad could verify that everything I wrote down was the truth because obviously I live with my parents. My mum does all the cooking. And if I want a brew, it's obviously downstairs where my parents are. So, yeah, they knew. And when I go shopping, of course, my dad has to come with me because of my severe anxiety and public phobia. So my dad knew exactly what I was buying as well. She then told me that I could start having, after 4 weeks, I could have like a little treat. So this treat would be once a week. So I'd have like a little treat. Maybe it'd be one of those little mini Mars bars. Or you've even seen me buy in my hauls, you've seen me buy them red pencils or the rainbow ones, blue ones, whatever. Have just one of those. Let me just see what else. Oh yeah, we talked about exercise as well. I had to start jotting down all of my exercise. All that had to be done. Yeah, and then she would like give me ideas on like exercise routines that maybe I haven't thought about, or yeah, if I was struggling with anything, struggling with what to eat, she would always help me. I had a phone number as well, she gave me that, so if I had any worries I could phone her. So there was that. So anyway, after going and seeing her, I then had to go and see another woman in the same place, which Barbara took me to. And again, she just went through my weight, my height, and she told me a little bit more about the hospital situation, which was great. But I only saw her once, that was it. I did have the choice to keep seeing that woman. I can't remember what she was for. I can't remember the proper title of this woman, because there was so many titles of different people that I had to see. So I can't remember all of them. My main one that I remember is Barbara, because I did spend most of my time with Barbara, and she was like my dietitian type person. So yeah, after seeing that woman, I was straight back to Barbara again for, I think it was about another 4 weeks. Then I had to go and see a gentleman, and by God, if I've ever seen a good looking doctor, he was it. He was really, really nice. But anyway, very, very nice guy, I must say. Very, very lovely. So again, he spoke to me more about what type of operation do I want. Do I want the gastric band? Do I want the sleeve? And there was another one that I just can't quite remember what it's called. You are given 3 options. So, and then he explained to me exactly what all 3 do. So you have like the sleeve operation, which is where they cut 80% of your tummy out, leave you with, well, the rest of it, and that is done by keyhole. Then you have the gastric band, which is like a little rubber band that you put around your tummy, and they can make it expand and all of that, depending on how the doctor feels that you need it. And then the other one is where they cut your, how can you explain it? It's like you've got your stomach and then you have like your tube that goes down, and they cut that off and attach it to something else. It's the most complicated one anyway. I can't think for my life what it's called, but when I heard about that one, I was like, no thank you sir, don't want that one. So anyway, the one that I have chosen to go for is the sleeve operation. So I'm having 80% of my tummy taken away and left with my chair. If you heard that big squeak, then that was my chair. I just moved something with my foot. But anyway, so yeah, that's the one that I have chosen to have. So then after seeing the doctor, he then transferred me to, I think I got transferred back to Barbara again. It was a lot going back and forth to Barbara, which I did prefer because I was losing good amounts of weight when I was with Barbara. So yes, I lost 2 stone with Barbara, and then after Barbara, I was then basically left on my own devices. So from the minute I left Barbara, I think I was left for not that long really, about a month I'd say, to do my own dietary thing. So I had to keep losing this weight. If I went back a bit, it was fine, but I had to make sure that I got myself back on my feet and moving that weight again. So then after the month, we got a letter, and then obviously we had to go to the hospital. This is where we go to the hospital now. So I go to the hospital, and it is for a group meeting. The group meeting, it wasn't big. It was really, really small, to be honest. I think there was round about 4, 5 of us in this group. All of us, of course, are overweight, and we're all here for one reason: losing that weight. So we're all having different operations. I was having the sleeve. There was some that was having the other 2 ones, and yeah, basically it was just sit down and they spoke about us. No, they spoke to us all about the 3 different operations that are available. They told us how they work. They went proper into detail. They even had little plastic figures to show you exactly how it was all going to go down. Then they weighed us. And that weighing, when they weigh you at the hospital, that is your last chance to put any weight on. You can't put any weight on after that point. You have to lose weight from that point. If you put any weight on, game over, you're done. So when they weighed me, they took me to the side out of the room so the other people could get weighed and do whatever. So I had to go to this other part, and we spoke about, again, what foods I eat, how, even though I'd made such changes to my eating habits, they wanted me to make more changes. So this is when they wanted me to change my plate size. So you go from a big plate to a small plate. And that's what I had to do. I had to change a lot of foods that I was eating. I then could go on to homemade juices. I couldn't go on the fruit juices because I'm diabetic type 2, and if you do fruit juices, homemade or even bought, they have so much sugar in. So I had to go on the vegetable juices, and I absolutely love them. They're really, really nice, and they're very good for a detox as well if you do them properly. But I just did it to get more vitamins in and all that lot. So, yeah, we just basically spoke about portion sizes and what times do I eat. And then they told us that we have to start having 3 meals a day. They don't care what time we get up in the morning. You have to have a breakfast, dinner, tea, and with a very, very light supper if you was that hungry for a supper. So you could do that. And then after all of that talk, we then went, then they took me, because it was like a one-on-one, so then they took me to another part of the hospital where we looked at if I'd put on weight, if I'd lost weight. But again, at this point, it did not matter if I did put on weight. What mattered was I could not put any more weight on because it's game over. So anyway, they weighed me, and she looked very shocked actually, to be honest, because when she looked at my results then and to the results of Barbara, it was all good. So from a month ago when I last saw Barbara, they said that I'd kept my weight stable completely stable. I've not gone up, I've not gone down. And the time before that, when I was with Barbara, again, I kept it stable then. So they was really, really, really happy with that. They couldn't believe that I'd kept it stable twice in a row. So then after that, I had to go back in the waiting room with my dad. And I had to wait for the surgeon to come and collect me, to go into a separate room on our own to talk about the operation. So, and they also, as I was waiting in the reception, the surgeon they'd seen everybody by then, but the surgeon had also gone into the meeting of the nurses and doctors and other surgeons that will all be in that room, and they're operating on all of us. They was talking about all of us individually, about what operation would be best for all of us. So anyway, you have to wait quite a while, and then the surgeon came out and shouted my name, so I went into the room with him. He sat down, he said, "It's all good news, we are accepting you for the operation. You will now be signed up to go on our waiting list," and that's when I had to sign quite a few paperwork. I had to sign all of that. He signed it all with agreements and all of that. And then he said, "We've all spoken in a group, all of the surgeons, the doctors, the nurses, and we've all decided that you are eligible to have any of the 3 operations that we are making available to you." So I could have any of the 3. So he said, "Is there any that you would like and what you wouldn't like?" So I said, "I really, really want the sleeve. I don't want any of the other 2. And then he asked why, so I had to give my reasons for that. And then he said, "There's a new thing that's coming in our hospital with this operation thing. You can let the doctors and nurses and surgeons decide what you have. See, there is that option, so that they can decide, and you just come in off the day of the operation. They do the operation, and then they'll tell you afterwards what you've had." So it's a bit like a gamble. It's a bit like a pick of the hat type thing. But I said, "No, I don't like the sound of that. I really don't want that. I just want the sleeve." So he said, "That's fine." So then I had to sign more paperwork, so we did that. So that's really it. He said that he's really, really happy with how I'm losing the weight. He's really, really happy with everything. So yeah, he reckons that I'm going to make really great success out of this. So that's it. So then I go home and I'm waiting for the next letter. So then we got that. I thought this was my pre-op, the one that I went for yesterday. So anyway, we go to the hospital, I take the letter with me, wait in the waiting room, then we go into the room again, in a small little group again. Again, there was only 5 of us again. Yeah, there was 6 of us this time. But anyway, we're there, round the table, talking. This time we're talking about what's going to happen with the pre-op. So we was talking about what we can eat, what we can't eat on a pre-op, how it's all going to work, what are the benefits from a pre-op, why we need to do it. So basically we need to do the pre-op to shrink our liver, because they have to move your liver out of the way to do the operation to get to your tummy. Yeah, the pre-op diet, you've got to go on the pre-op diet for 2 weeks. And what I was told was I can have Slim Fast. So I can have Slim Fast, 3 Slim Fasts a day, but I have to have soup with other stuff and all of this. Like, I don't know. I've got it all downstairs. This is what I'm saying. I should have brought it up, but I forgot. But yeah, so now I know how the pre-op is going to work. 2-week pre-op diet, really not looking forward to that, because you just don't eat nothing. I'm going to be starving for 2 weeks, but it's going to be worth it. This is what I'm saying. So I've just got to just go for it, proper go for it now. I'm super duper excited, I can't wait. So this time next year I will be slim, thank the Lord of mercy. So that's what my appointment was yesterday. It was not for my pre-op, it was just another appointment to talk about what's going to happen after the pre-op. So then I got weighed again and I have lost more weight, which is excellent. I'm so proud of myself for that. And then they came with the bombshell. They came with the thing that I am most definitely worried about now. So they said the next thing that is going to happen now after yesterday's appointment, basically we have to now wait for a letter with our actual operation date and our pre-op date. Of course you're going to get a pre-op date first and then your operation, but they're going to send them both in the post. So we've got that waiting for that to come. They said that it will take 12 months for the operation to happen, but because we've already been doing this for so long now, we only have 9 months to wait. So that'll take me to December. Now they did say if it does snow or anything in December, do not panic because they can do it in January. All they have to do is phone up and we'll change the operation date. So the next time I go to hospital will be for my pre-op. So I need to go in when they send me my letter. I don't know what date that's going to be. I don't know how long that's going to be. But it should be in December. But yeah, my pre-op will then come in and I have to do that special diet for 2 weeks. And what you eat, what you are allowed on this diet, what they told us in this meeting that we had yesterday. So I'm allowed Slim Fast. I'm allowed, what was the other ones? No added sugar jelly. No added sugar yoghurt. We can have no added sugared juice and water. I think we can have soup, I think. I'll have to check my list again. But that's it. You're not allowed proper solid food because you have to really, really shrink that liver. So anyway, there is that. Yeah, so it's all going really, really great. But the bit that I'm worrying about is that big long gap of 9 months. Our scales are rubbish downstairs. I am seriously going to have to buy some electric scales because they're absolutely crap, the ones downstairs. So I'll have to get myself some proper electric scales, some really good ones. So there is a lot more that was said, but what I'm gonna do, I might do a second video on this, and then what we'll do is when I've looked at my paperwork, we'll look at the paperwork together and we'll talk a bit more in detail. So that's it, guys. That is my big operation. I'm having a sleeve operation. So once I've had my operation, I have to stay in hospital for 3 days. The first day is going in, having the operation on my first day that I'm there. My second one is recovery, of course, and so is the third one. Well, the third one's more like going home. After the operation, I have to inject myself into my tummy. And that's, again, I'll go through all the medication in my second video. But that is to make sure that I don't get blood clots, stomach infections, stuff like that. So, yeah, there is that. I'm trying to think now what else they said. After the operation, you basically have to pump your stomach up. You're going to get loads of air put in your stomach to make it bigger so they can do the operation. After, when they finish the operation, they take out as much air as possible, but your stomach will still be bloated with air because they can't get it all out. So after the operation, you are left with chronic wind, and I mean chronic painful wind. But don't worry, they don't just leave you with the wind. They do give you all the best painkillers and everything to help you at least get past that edge of the wind. They also told me don't be afraid to pass gas or burp or anything like that on the ward. Everybody will be having a little tune there. We'll all have a gas band going on. A little music band. But apparently, yeah, everybody's at it, so it's nothing to panic about or worry about or be embarrassed about. So there is that. after your operation, as soon as you are let back on the ward, you don't get chance to rest, you don't get chance to sleep. They get you straight out of that bed. Straight out. Hours after having the operation, you're out of that bed and you are walking. And they reckon that walking is a really good way for a fast healing. So, yeah. And they've also told us all, don't just lay in your bed and wait for a nurse to get you out of the bed. Get up and walk, because it's going to help you heal a lot faster. So I've got to do that, which I'm just so excited. My dad keeps saying to me, aren't you scared about having the operation, being put to sleep? I'm like, no, I'm really not. I'm really not scared. I don't care if they rip me to shreds when I'm asleep. I'm not scared of any of that. The bit that I'm scared of is the injecting myself. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. That might have to be my mum's job. I don't think I can do that, but we're going to see. And the chronic wind. I'm not looking forward to that, because everybody in this world has had trap wind and we all know how painful it is. This trap wind after the op is what we have been told 100 times worse painful than normal trap wind. So I'm really not looking forward to that. But we shall see. Everybody's pain hold is a lot different to others, so I don't know. So yeah, that is it, guys. That is exactly what's happening. 9 months' time, I'm going to keep doing updates on weight loss. And I might even start bringing exercise videos in. I'll see if I get confident enough to do that. I started off on this weight at 21 stone. I am now, what am I, 2 away from 18 stone. I'm so proud of myself for that. I cannot wait to get a lot more further down the line. So I'm very, very excited. Very, very excited. And that took a lot for me to tell you how much weight I was and what I am now, by the way. So please don't leave any hate comments, because you will be automatically blocked and you just won't be commenting on my videos again, because it has took a lot. Yeah, I do have a lot of issues when it comes to my weight and stuff. I just don't like it. But whatever. We are here to be real. We are here to have real talk about what is happening with this operation. So I'm going to give it you all left, right and centres. So that is it, guys. Second video is definitely going to be a little bit more better. I'm going to talk about what medicines I'm going to be on and all that sort of jazz with this operation, and we're going to go a little bit more deeper into the op, because next time I'm going to make sure I've got the paperwork right in front of me, black and white. So yeah, that is it now, guys. I'm going to leave it there before I embarrass myself anymore. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to go actually now have a workout, have my workout clothes on, these horrible black tops. I really want to stop wearing black, because with me having a puppy, Roxy, it shows up all my black hair, shows up all of her white hair on the black, and it's horrible. So, yes. I'm going to leave it there now, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you all for your support in this. So give us a like if you want the second video, I guess. Yeah, and I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. If you are not yet part of the Sparkle family, please do sprinkle some of that glitter on that subscribe button. It is free after all to join in with the fun. And I might just do them exercise videos just for shits and giggles. Why not? I'll just see you in my next video, which will be Monday. We have a haul coming. I have got more videos coming this week, so I shall see you in one of them. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye!